The early bird gets the worm. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man or woman healthy, wealthy, and wise. Essentially, what all these sayings are saying is win the morning, win the day. Create your morning miracle. There's something just so powerful in waking up early before the rest of the world does, creating, having the most an epic morning routine. Because then when you win the morning, you just win the day. And this is pretty obvious. I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced this, that when you wake up early, you start your day right, that the rest of the day just seems to flow better. And so every single day for this year, I am committed to getting up no later than 6 a.m. So it's been 1 month in, since this is the last day of January 2019. So every day for the past month, I've gotten up, some days at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., but no later than 6 a.m. And I know this may not sound like a big deal, like, well, at 6 a.m., that's nothing. Some of you guys might have to get up earlier than that for work and everything. But for me, this was a stretch and a challenge. Because, when I was younger, when I was in high school, I remember, I hated waking up early in the morning. That was one of my motivations. I was like, you know what, I want to become a successful entrepreneur so that I never have to wake up to an alarm clock ever again. And I made that happen. And then I got to the point where I became comfortable, I was sleeping in because I run my own businesses. I don't have to, I am my own boss. I don't have to wake up at any time. And so I got comfortable. But what I found, because I'm a sadistic kind of person, is that I didn't like who I was becoming. I didn't like being lazy because I knew that I wasn't living up to my full potential. By sleeping in, many times I wouldn't have enough time to complete my full morning ritual, which really bothered me because over the years I've created quite an incredible full morning ritual. And so I found that a lot of days would go by where I wouldn't do my morning ritual, and there would be a lot of important parts of my day that I wouldn't complete, and it bothered me. And so that is why I decided, you know what, I don't care if I'm in, if I don't have to wake up, if I am my own boss or not. I'm gonna force myself to get back into the habit of waking up early every single day. Because I want to win the morning, win the day, and I want to maximize my life. I want to live up to my full potential. And so that is why I committed to getting up every single day this year at 6 a.m. So what's happened so far this month? Well, it's been quite incredible. I've had a record-breaking month, and all of my businesses, I have 6 different businesses, and every single one of them I had a record-breaking month. Now, what's interesting about that is I know, some of you guys who might have been following me for a while, you may have remembered my videos in the past where I woke up every single day at 4 a.m. for a month. Or, I did another experiment where I woke up every day for a month at 5 a.m. And in both those videos, I share the same thing, how coincidentally, I had a record-breaking month in all of my businesses. Well, I don't think that's by accident. I think the reason why that happens is because, again, you win the morning, win the day. And when you, my belief is that when you pour excellence into your morning routine and your morning, that excellence bleeds off into every single other area of your life. It bleeds off into your career, into your relationships, into your health. And it's just something magical about winning the morning, winning the day. So I've had a record-breaking month in all of my businesses. I haven't skipped one day of exercise. In fact, because normally, before, I would skip some days, but, now I don't ever want to skip a day of exercise ever again. It's a whole other video to talk about that, but many days, not only have I worked out once, but twice that day, because I trained jiu-jitsu and MMA, and so I would get up in the morning, complete my full morning ritual, which also consists of getting an exercise, but then work out again in the evening, doing 2 hour long of MMA and jiu-jitsu and everything. I found that throughout this month, my level of happiness and energy has gone through the roof. I have way more energy. And that's something also I know I share about in other videos as well, where I've done these getting up in the morning earlier experiments, is that there's something about waking up early in the morning, although it's tough, when you get up in the morning, you have more energy the rest of the day. It's weird. There's just something weird about it that when you get up early in the morning, you have more energy throughout the day. Maybe it's because you're, more aligning with your circadian cycle and everything like that. And another thing that I found is that I'm going to sleep earlier, because I like to try to get, anywhere from 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. And so by waking up no later than 6 a.m., that means that I gotta, go to sleep by 10 p.m. in order to get a full 8 hours of sleep. And so I, every night, would rush to get to bed, as early as possible. If I could get to bed by 9 p.m., awesome, which, a lot of times I couldn't do that. But, usually I would get to sleep every night between 10 and 11 o'clock. But what I found before, I would be more inclined to stay up and watch Netflix and mess around on the computer and stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, because I can just, get my 8-9 hours of sleep and just wake up whenever I want tomorrow. But now that I am put myself in a position where I have to wake up early every single day, it motivates you to get up to go to sleep earlier, where I'm not staying up watching TV at night. I'm just reading and then just going to bed. And so that's been really an interesting thing for me as well, to see myself, this is good. Going to sleep earlier, getting more in line with my circadian cycle. And it hasn't been easy. In the beginning of the month, it was tough waking up, which is, I know some of you are laughing like, really? 6 a.m.? Like, come on. But for me, it was a challenge, and it was pushing myself. And waking up early in the beginning was tough. Waking up to that alarm clock, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? But as the month progressed, it got easier and easier. And before, it was hard to fall asleep at like 10 o'clock. But as the month progressed, now, if I am able to, I can get myself to fall asleep at 9 o'clock now. And so your body does adjust in time. And so why did I decide to do this, and why am I not taking any days off? Some of you are like, why don't you take a day off? Why don't you just sleep in on the weekend? Well, I've done those experiments. I've experimented with sleep and everything for many years. And one thing that I've found is that it's easier for me to stay consistent than it is to, just do my habits the weekdays and then take off on the weekends. Because then I would find I'd have to rebuild come Monday morning, and it would be like such a struggle to have to rebuild my habits back up again. So I find, for me personally, it's just easier to just stay consistent and just, stick to my routines, my rituals, my habits every single day. That way, come Monday morning, I don't have to, I'm not trying to, I feel like over the weekend then you've broken the habits, and then come Monday morning you got to rebuild them. So for me personally, I just find it's easier just to stay consistent every single day, no days off. And also, there's something about, I don't know if you ever heard that saying, eat that frog, by, I think it was Brian Tracy who coined that. But what he said, one of the best productivity tips that he gives is he says to eat that frog. And what he means by that, kind of a weird saying, eat that frog, but, whatever. But what he essentially means is that you do the most challenging task of your day first thing in the morning. You eat that frog first thing in the morning. Because most people do the exact opposite. Whatever they're most challenging to do or task for that day, they'll do everything first. If they gotta, make a sales call or something and they're intimidated about, they'll do the laundry, they'll clean up the house 15 times, they'll return, videotapes or whatever, and they'll just find every other thing to procrastinate to avoid doing the main task. And then at the end of the day, I'll just do it tomorrow. Or, same thing if it's coming to working out. They'll do everything else first, and then they'll put working out at the end of the day. Where what he says is do the most challenging, the most challenging tasks first thing in the morning. And so for me, waking up early in the morning is like, that in itself is eating that frog, because, it's like, but once I've conquered that, then all of a sudden, because I've started off the day with a massive victory, by pushing myself to wake up early in the morning and then jumping right into my morning routine, which I'll have to do a whole other video about that, but it consists of immediately going into exercise, stretching, working out, meditating, everything. By doing that first thing in the morning, boom, then I've set up the rest of my day for success. I've had these awesome victories first thing in the morning, and the rest of my day, I'm facing it like a champion. I feel accomplished. I feel good because I started off my day on the right foot. And so there's something, just so powerful about winning the morning, winning the day. When you wake up early. A great book that really enlightened me and woke my eyes up to this is called The Miracle Morning. I'm sure many of you probably read it, by Hal Elrod. But he talked about that, he challenged himself to wake up every single day. I think it was 6 a.m. as well, if I'm not mistaken, for a year. And he double or tripled his sales in his business in that 1 year. And he found that, wow, this gives me a massive competitive advantage for all the reasons that I just shared. He's able to wake up early in the morning, get his exercise out of the way, journal, meditate, do all these things that when you're sleeping in, all of a sudden you conveniently don't have time for. And by doing all these things, that compounding effect would take place in how it allowed him to just crush it in all areas of his life. So there's something magical to it. It's not comfortable and it's easier to sleep in, but the greatest rewards in life come to those that push themselves out of their comfort zone and do what is more challenging. When you take the path of least resistance, it's typically going to lead to the less favorable rewards. Where when you live today like no one else wants to live, then tomorrow you can live how no one else is able to live. So I challenge you, if you're already waking up early for work, then wake up even an hour earlier. Because just imagine, what could you accomplish with an extra hour in your day? An extra hour over a month, that's 30 something hours. You could create a blog, a YouTube channel, you could create a business. If you put an extra hour a day into your sales business, you'd probably break a record. And so that's why I said, by getting up earlier, I've had a record-breaking month in all of my businesses. I don't think that is by accident. So, some of the best advice that I can give you guys is to wake up early in the morning. Wake up even earlier than you already are. I know that I'm going to continue to push the bar. This is just the beginning of it. Watch what happens. Start out with just like a 30-day challenge and see the magic of what happens. How all of a sudden, how much more you're getting done, how much more productive you are, and how much energy you surprisingly have, and and how much happier you are, and how much more fulfilled you are, and how you find yourself more motivated to go to sleep earlier instead of waiting up at night screwing around. Most studies have shown that productivity drops dramatically after about 9, 10 o'clock at night anyway. So really, you may think you're being more productive by staying up later, but your productivity goes way down the hill after about 9, 10 o'clock at night. So it's better to just, end the day early, go to sleep. That way you can wake up early and have a sharper brain, be more productive, and win the day. So win the morning, guys, win the day. And with that being said, let's make it have a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year. Let's make it a great life. See ya.